So some of you are probably curious what the most efficient way is to now grind for Renown 1600 plus. And really the only efficient way, in my opinion, is to run Dirty Ice on Overkill and just grab all the bags and leave. And for that heist specifically, and for that run specifically, I created a separate build, which is relatively similar to my kind of like loud build that I usually use, besides the skills. So like all the equipment stuff that I have is basically my loud build, except for a throwable, in which case I'm using a smoke grenade. You can, if you want, use the frag grenade instead to like just have some help with clearing out the display cases in the public showroom, so that you don't have to break them. But in my opinion, I believe it's not really necessary, since shooting and picking up is just as fast, so I'm just using the shotgun, the smoke grenade. It also helps, like in worst case scenarios where I can just hide myself in smoke to safely escape, although that doesn't really happen anymore since I'm just too fast. The ECM chambers, they're required, because you want speed hack. We'll get to that in a second. The weapons kind of don't matter. I'm just using medtech frame with impact plate, so that I don't have to worry about armor. It just regenerates even if it completely breaks, and it's usually enough to stay alive for the whole run, since the cops only really come in at the very end. And snipers are too slow. If it's only one sniper, so he's too slow to break it, or like break it and then kill you, because it takes him too long. So yeah, it's just literally fine. Yeah, for the skills, there's a few skills that are useless, or like they're just in there because I couldn't find anything else. I believe that's so, at least. Can't remember. Yeah, there is. But let's get through it. You want the classic tank aced combo with last man standing, because at the very end you have potentially two snipers shooting at you, and last man standing will keep you alive. And the tank base also helps with the decreased regen speed of your armor. That will like have one sniper not being able to do anything to you. I went with 42 basic just for the extra little bit of health. Sometimes the cops tend to a little bit swarm you a bit, and it just helps to like stay alive for sure. Transporter is a given with Beast of Burden and Powerlifter to just carry 2 bags without the movement penalty. I'm also using Catapult. Catapult here actually perfectly helps. It's like the perfect range to toss the bags into the street and then directly into the chopper. Usually I even end up in a place where I have all the bags in front of the chopper, but it negates a little bit of movement and tossing bags, so it helps using Catapult. I recommend it. Escape is for the speed, battering ram to break the doors, especially the beginning door, the second door into the office, plus the third door at the bottom in the basement to flip the lever. And Swift for, once again, more movement speed. Then Mower is what I mentioned. This is optional. You don't really need that. You can throw these 2 skills wherever you want. I just can find a place where to put them in. Sprint loaded, so I can reload while sprinting. That will actually come in handy, because your gun might run out of ammo while breaking display cases, so that's kind of nice to have. Strategist with misdirect for like the just in case if marked enemies trying to shoot me, there's still a chance that they don't hit me. The pots will mark enemies for you a bit sometimes, so it just helps a little bit. Then CQC specialist, just to gain a refresh rush whenever you pick up a safe. You have to transport 1 for the button. With soft assets, we only really care about the 5% increased movement speed, and pin puller as well, the 5% increased movement speed. We don't care about the other option there. That is specifically for carrying a hostage, by the way. Then, obviously, Infiltrator. I also aced it, because that will give me the initial rush at the very beginning to break open the door immediately, so that I don't have to, like, shoot it open or anything. I can just run through it with battering ram. Then Quick Fingers, obviously, to pick the fingers in the VIP room open in one shot. And Bagger, so we can loot the bags quicker. Frugal Thrower, don't think it's really necessary. Usually I never use all the smoke grenades, but it's just nice to have in case. And then Scrambler Aced, once again, for the tool to gain rush in case I don't have it. It sometimes happens that you run down to the basement and then you run out of rush, in which case you can just throw down your second ECM to gain rush and battering around the door. Speed hack. This is mainly used at the very beginning of the run, where, for once, you pick up a QR code faster, and then 2, you use the QR code faster on the door, so this saves time overall. And then extra pockets for the additional ECM. And that's all you need. So I'll just showcase that real quick. Depending on the RNG of the heist, more than the run, but just so you can see it in action, how it looks. So hope I remember everything to do. Yeah, you mask up. I usually toss a grenade to just trigger everything as fast as possible. Get in here, place down ECM, use it, kill this guy if he's in the way. Get the QR. Remember the cube, the stuff there, the code. If he is here in the hallway, grab him. Break this door, open the QR here. And then open the door, open this door, run back here, pick up the first 2 bags, break this window. Get this, toss them out. Get a second batch. And then run out. As soon as you hear the van leaving, run outside and place this, because what's your timer. And once you have that, you run down here. So remember the code 2962 in the whiteboard, which is the case here, so that's very nice. This guy's usually here, pick up the key card, battery around this, pull a lever, run back up. And then we'll focus on the VIP. Actually, no, we'll first do the vault. So yeah, I'm already forgetting things because I've done it so often. And then we toss them at the bottom. This is a little bit iffy sometimes, you might have to toss them twice. And we'll also abuse the bots to our advantage here. I'm opening this, while this is opening I'm lockpicking this, picking this up. And then I'll open everything. And these 2 bags, specifically the stone, you don't want to put these on the bots. I usually just run to the middle and toss them like that, so they land out in the street. But these 2 like additional bags here, those are the ones that we put on the bots like that. So you have a little bit less carrying to do. And then we toss these 2 out, get more bags. Break these 2 because there's the 2 additional bags at the very end. There we go. And that's all the bags. And now I can just start tossing them to like a better spot. So that they're a bit closer. I usually put them right here. If I have the time, I put them right here. And then we kind of like just wait. Kill sniper in case he's annoying. And then from here you can just toss them in. And that's a solid like sub 245 run. And then from here, as always, you just restart level. And then do it again. So let's hope for a different seed. We do. In this case, I toss the grenade in here. I keep this guy alive so I gain rush. Run purposely so the camera like actually sees me. I purposely do that running there. 7608. Break this, open this. We have no Sif in the hallway now, but that's fine. You don't have to worry about it. Because there's always one there. And as you can see, the van is now leaving faster, so I only can do 1 batch. Keep in mind, flare is most important. Break this. You can use this guy. Got the code 7608. You can use the one on the window there. You don't have to do anything, it just stays there. Lucky again with the whiteboard. And from here on out, it's the same kind of like a rinse and repeat thing. But yeah, if you have no Sif here in the hallway, don't worry about it, just take this one. She's always here, if that's the case. But if you have Sifs in the civilian, do slap them down and do actually tie them up so they don't run away, because otherwise they do. But for some reason, the Sif at the window doesn't run away, so you're good to go. But yeah, from here it's literally just rinse and repeat. Nothing really changes, except the timing just a little bit. Since I have to grab 2 additional bags. And then again, run to the middle, toss them here. these on, grab a loot thingy for faster pickup back. Then toss these out. Make sure to always like pick up a small loot thing to gain rush, like this, poof, and then pick up the bag. So you pick them up 50% faster.
Alright, people, here come the cops.
You will eventually get the hang of it, of like how to toss these bags so that they're roughly landing here. You won't always have like a sort of perfect setup for this, depending on the time. And you can also toss them in from underneath. But as you can see, sub 245 again, just like before. That's kind of like everything. There is a first seed, but it is exactly the same as the second seed. Just toss the grenade into the public showroom, run the same like straight sort of diagonal through the store so that that one camera always spots you. And then you're good to go. And as a reminder, here, as you can see, it says now 1. If it shows you Renown here on the left and the next Renown level, like 1600 something on the right side, that level up will not actually be a level up for your Renown. What it will do instead, though, is it will look like this afterwards, that you have like no Renown on the left. Like your current Renown is basically 0, and your next Renown would be 1. And then once you level up here once, you will get 1 Renown. And from here on it keeps counting. So just keep that in mind. That basically, the very first level up will not do anything, but from there on out, it will actually count. But that's it. Hope it helps. Have fun grinding.